Hello viewers, my name is Bailey. Welcome to Coastal Crafts.
Hello, yes, Coastal Crafts here again, and I'm going to do a bit of crafting here. I have been having a bit of play making flowers, and I thought I might make some on a video. I had a spare bit of time to do some crafting, so I'm going to make a variety of different flowers, and then you can sort of see which ones you like, which ones you don't like, and let me know what kind of flowers that you enjoy making. So first of all, we're going to have a look at these ones, these little crepe paper ones, and have a go at making them together. So they're quite pretty, but I feel like I need a third one to make a bit of a bunch. It's just not going to work with two, as you've always got to have three. So I'm just using these little dies here that are part of a set of 4 from AliExpress. You can see those, the other two, they're a bit bigger. And I bought them a while ago, so I haven't got the link, but if you search flower making dies, you will easily find some. So first of all, get some of the crepe paper. So I'm using this cheap crepe paper from Aldi, which gives it that nice, really soft and delicate effect. So we've done orange, we've done pink. I think it's going to have to be blue, isn't it, to go with that. So I'll get some of the blue out. Now what I've been doing is taking a strip. I cut that with my scissors. Good old Tim Holtz scissors. I love my Tim Holtz scissors. Move that out of the way. And then because I'm lazy, I like to try and die cut it all in one go. And that doesn't matter too much. I'm using my little Aldi, did I say that paper was from Aldi? It's from Lidl. Little Aldi die cutting plate, because it's so much quicker and easier. And look, it fits underneath the camera. It's a miracle. Right, I haven't got Bailey here to do the die cutting for me, so I'm going to have to do it on my own. Send it through. And then as they come out, push them out from through here. They have it cut really nicely. It never does it as well as you want to, does it, when you're on video? I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that. When you're just sitting there doing it yourself and you're not having to look through a camera, they come out far better. So the bottom ones haven't cut as well, so we'll just get rid of those because we don't need, probably won't need them all. And then I just need to pull them all apart so they're all in nice separate bits. Let's make sure you can see that. So pretty flower petals. I'm using the 2 different sizes. From this set it was the smallest and then the next smallest, because I didn't want massive flowers, but obviously it depends what size flowers you want, doesn't it, when you're doing it. So I'm just going to carefully peel every layer apart. That one's not worked, has it? So we'll get rid of that one. But there should be a fair few. In the last flower I made, I had 10, I think, of each of these. I don't know whether I'm going to quite make the same amount here, but I'm going to go and peel all those apart. So as you can see, I've got all my flowers pulled apart in the 2 different sizes. So I'm just going to get my little stamens here, which come, for me, they come like this, because it's how I bought them off eBay. I need to invest in some more, actually, getting towards the end. So I'm just folding them in half, twizzling them round. I'm just going to stick a bit of this green washi tape on there to hold it. I did have some of that like flower arranging tape, floral tape, but I just find that was a bit fiddly. It never wanted to stick, and it was a nice green colour, so it was really sort of all blended in, but it didn't want to stick where I wanted it to stick. There we go. So I'm just doing this because, as you might have noticed, that these ones all have a little hole in the middle, so I'm able to just push that through nice and easily now that I've wound it through, and push it through the central hole. And then I'm just going to take my glue. It's going to be hard to do on camera. And put a little bit of glue on one side of the petal. I'm just doing this a bit more carefully on the first one. So in case you're wondering and you're interested in glue, this is, see how I just folded it over there. This is just cheap Poundland Yoo-hoo glue in one of those fine liner bottles. So I'm going to put a bit more glue on there. Let's try and get it to focus. And stick that one in. So I'm just trying to pull them all in a bit. It's not going to be perfect because it's not the easiest thing to do on camera. A bit more glue. Just have a little fiddle with it as well there. So the hardest ones are obviously going to be the first ones because they sort of bring that middle shape in. There we go. And then let's get that last one on there. Which is going to be very fiddly. Right, there we go. A lot easier to do if you haven't got a camera on you. For the next one that I'm going to add on, I'm going to make it a little bit easier for myself. So I'm going to take a small one. I'm just going to put some glue around it. Put a bit of glue on each petal, and then push that on here, making sure that the petals don't line up. You're doing them alternating, so where there's a gap there'll be a petal, and then just push that on. Let's make sure that's a bit more in focus. So just push it in and the glue will get it stuck, and then we're just going to carry on until we've used up all of the small petals in exactly the same way. So now we've added all the small ones, you can see it start to build up a bit of volume. So we're going to add some of these bigger petals now, just to add, I don't know, a bit more size, a bit more dimension, a bit more going on. So I'm going to do the exact same thing, add a bit of glue to each of the petals and then push it through the middle of that hole. And I think you can definitely do it when you've got dies that haven't got a hole in the middle. Just so happens that those ones do. So I'm going to carry on now and put the rest of the petals on. So there we go, we've now got our pretty little flower, and obviously, oh hello, it's going for a little dive. If you wanted to, with this being crepe paper, you can pull the petals apart and give them a bit of shaping. I mean, this is only cheap crepe paper. You can get flower making crepe paper as well and make some beautiful big flowers where you really shape the petals. And I have got some of that flower making crepe paper, so if you would like to see any of those flowers made, do let me know. They don't want me to hold them, do they? They don't want me to hold them together because I want to see what it would look like in a little flower bunch. So look at that. Pretty, aren't they? Pretty, quite summery. And that is our first type of flower, or crepe paper flower. And there we go. So that brings me on to your second flower that we're going to do today. So this one is just a little rolled flower, really quick and simple. So there's the die. I think this one came off AliExpress as well, but you can get them really from pretty much every craft site you can think of. And I've done it in this nice, I personally think it's nice anyway, lovely turquoise or tealy green colour of felt. I like doing the rolled flowers in felt. I just think that's, to me, the prettiest way they come out. So in this felt, I'm just going to, a random little gem, put it on here and cut around to get the right size, because I have been using my little small die cutting machine from Aldi, which works really nicely on felt. Absolutely no issues on felt. So I'll turn it over, put it down onto the B plate. I've learned how to do this now. Put the A plate on top and let's send it through. Super quick. And it comes out like this nice long chain. So there's probably all sorts of different ways that you can do this, but I can only show you the way of which I know. Such is life, isn't it? That's all I know. So I'm going to get the middle, I'm going to put a bit of glue, still using this Yoo-Hoo glue. So the Yoo-Hoo glue is a solvent based glue, so it dries really quickly, as opposed to like a PVA based glue, which is what a lot of the tacky glues are. They take a bit longer to stick, but they probably stick better. So it kind of depends, you know. It's also really cheap, so in Poundland. And then I'm going to roll it round. So I really want to keep that Fibonacci sequence going with my petals and having them alternating as I just wrap it round. It's cute. It's not a cute colour. I'm really into this colour. It's hard not to like it, isn't it? It's one of those things, isn't it? I've noticed a lot of crafters really like teal. And you think, I remember when I was little and everyone liked pink and then everyone liked purple. And it's almost like, like certain ages all tend to like the same colours. You gotta wonder. Right, and then the last bit I'm just going to attach with a bit of glue. So it doesn't really need glue the whole way around. It sort of holds itself together. But if you were ever concerned, you could obviously add more glue, couldn't you? And then in the middle, I was putting one of these little gems that you sure pick up a whole load of them from Poundland, 50p each a pack, bigger pack than that. On my haul recently, sticking that in the middle, and I just think they're really pretty. So there we go, I've got a couple of those, and obviously being felt, so quite nice to put things like hair clips and things like that. So that's our second little flower. It's a bit of a summery colour scheme going on over there, isn't there? Right, I'll be back with the next one. So the next flower I've got here is this, oh hello, drop it on the floor, larger one made using this die that I just picked up. So using one of these big, well, they're not big dies, are they? They're Spellbinders Sapphire Plus dies, but that's essentially a big die. So just having a go at making them using some double-sided paper. Not that you can necessarily tell it's double-sided, but if you go like that, you can see. I've kept this quite basic. I haven't done any inking, but you could obviously do some inking on the petals, and that would look really pretty. So with this one, I just grabbed. I'm like looking around blindly going, where is my paper pad? Here it is. So I grabbed 2 sheets from the paper pad that you're going to use. And obviously it doesn't really matter too much. Might go for that one. That's quite cute, isn't it? And is there another one like that left in this pack, or have I used them all up? Doesn't matter. We'll go for something slightly different mixed in. Let's go for that one mixed in with that. So we'll have a mixture of the two. That's not going to make too much difference. And I'm going to cut them out both. Obviously, big style, you can cut out fabric, you can cut out all sorts of different things, and cut out multiple sheets of paper at once. This one needs to go through my Big Shot Plus. I think they will go through an ordinary Big Shot, but I own a Big Shot Plus. In case you're wondering, with these ones, you just put the 2 cutting plates one either side, and it doesn't need any other plates at all. So I'm going to quickly cut that out and show you. So we have all our die cuts out of the die cutting machine, and in case I forgot to show you, these ones are called Sweet and Succulent. And because I've actually gone and done them in green, I think we will add a bit of ink to these and make them a bit more succulent like. So I have pulled out my Distress Oxide and Worn Lipstick. I'm just going to use a little sponge, as that's what I've got handy, and just give the ends of the petals, which I'm not going to do straight onto them, I'm going to do it onto here actually, a little bit of pink to them. So we'll just go around the edges, just doing it kind of roughly, so you could take far more care with it when you're not doing it on a video. There we go. I like this. I Distress Oxides. I find I prefer them to the Distress Inks. That could just be personal preference. So I'm going to finish off and do all the rest of those petals and then come back. So that's my petals inked. So what we need to do is a bit of shaping. So I'm going to turn them onto the other side first of all and rub them. So I've got one of these tonic flower making tools, basically 2 almost like ball bearings on the end of a rubber handle, but I'm fairly sure you could use other things. I have purchased like these really cheap plastic ones for cake making. I imagine would probably have a very similar effect, and like they've got pointy bits there which might be even quite handy. But there we go, this is what I've got. I'm sure you could think of something fairly similar. So we're just going to roll around to give the flower a bit of shape. And I'm aware that some of the Distress Oxide will probably decide to fall off. But there we go. Can live with that. So giving it a bit of a go. And then on the other side, I'm going to give a bit in the middle, just to perk it back up again. And then I'm going to bring in, I've got some of these, I'm not sure what the official term is for these, but they're kind of round nose but conical, and just give a bit on the ends as well for a bit of extra shaping. And obviously you could absolutely play around, couldn't you, with how much you shape these. And do let me know what your favourite shaping tools are that you tend to use. So I'm going to carry on and do the exact same thing to all the 3 different sizes that have come out, and then I'll come back. So I'm back and we have a whole load of shaped petals. So all we need to do now is find where we put our glue. I'm just going to carry on using the same glue because I like it in these little fine line pots. I've stuck my own pin in there because I'm forever losing the pins that go in these pots, probably sweeping them up into the bin. I'm going to start with the largest one, put some glue around the outside and stick it on top, and I might press it down, I think, with my little shaping tool. Save myself getting really gluey fingers. Make sure I'm happy with where that goes. Onto the next size up. Still making sure we keep that alternating approach, and it is starting to look nice and succulent like, isn't it? I don't know whether you necessarily consider succulents in the, when I say flower making, and whether you consider that flower making, but I think they're very pretty. So I'm going to put them into this flower making video. One to the smaller ones, a bit of glue, in it pops, and the final one. Oh, put it on the wrong side there, which will not matter at all. In we go. Squidge that down. Let's really push that down and make sure that they're actually touching and sticking. And if you look close, you can see I've not lined that up at all well. The hole should be so that you can get all the way through. Where have I gone wrong? There we go. Right, now we can see a hole the whole way through. And we can see that this has really taken shape. So on this one, I didn't use stamens. I used a bit of Flower Soft. So we'll have a go at doing that as well. So I took a bit of this Flower Soft wire. And I'm not going to have it really long because I don't want to have it in a vase or anything. So I'm just going to use a little piece of that. Depends what you're going to do with it. Bend it over and sort of wrap it around because it's going to have glue on there. So I'm going to sort of bend it over and make a bit of an end, and cover it in some glue. I've tried different glues. I think we'll put this glue on this time. And then looking at that, have various pots of Flower Soft. What shall we go for? No. Yep. We're going to go for this one. And I don't really know what this is made of, if I'm honest, but as you can see, this is what Flower Soft is. These funny little pieces. And I'm going to dip it around in there so it all fills up, and probably be even better to wait for it to dry. But as I'm doing a video, I'm just going to whack it in. And there we go. And then to add a little bit more, as I don't feel like there's enough on there, I'm going to add some extra glue around the outside. As I said, it didn't matter that I put some glue on there before, and just shove a load more in there. So it has got some height from the bit of wire there. But there we go. I think that looks quite pretty. At the moment it is quite wobbly on the back, so what I will do is I will add some tape to secure that bit of wire. There's our pretty succulent. I think that's kind of cute. So again, quite a variety of different flowers here, and I think I might have to call this video an end before it runs really long. But I hope you enjoyed a little bit of flower making for a Sunday evening or a Monday, depending on when this video uploads. And you can see all the pretty flowers that we have been working on. Well, it's fun to make different flowers, isn't it? You have to tell me your favourite method for making flowers. And hopefully I'll be back soon and maybe we can make some more flowers. That's always fun. But I will speak to you soon, guys. Bye.